deadly 60.
That's not animals that are dangerous to me.
Get in!
But animals that are deadly in their own world.
The wildest animals, the weirdest places.
And for the first time, we're finding out the challenges they face.
Oh no, look at this!
And what we can do to save them.
And you're coming with me every step of the way. So this is where our epic adventure begins, in the fjords of northern Norway. As you can see, it's already starting to get a little bit dark. And it's 1:30 in the afternoon. The reason for that is that we are well inside the Arctic Circle. In the summer, up here, the sun never sets. In the winter, like now, it's almost never light. So we're going to be heading out on a boat into the fjord. All our stuff's being loaded at the moment. We've got a massive, massive adventure ahead of us. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely going to be cold.
We're in the far north of Norway, heading to a place called Spildra. This small Arctic island is home to only 20 people. But at this time of year, the seas that surround Spildra are the best place on Earth for an awesome natural spectacle.
On this unique edition of Deadly 60, we're going in search of just one animal. What I would say is the #1 predator on the planet. It is coordinated, it's brainy, it's the killer whale, the orca.
Though called killer whale, orca are the largest member of the dolphin family. Reaching 10 meters in length and 6 tons in weight, more than 4 cars. Sleek lines and slick skin reduce resistance or drag underwater. They can power at up to 30 miles per hour. But it's their intelligence that sets them apart, with the second biggest brain of any animal. Here in Norway, they use this deadly intelligence to do something completely unique. Our mission is to try and witness this behavior beneath the waves in their underwater world. It's my life's ambition to swim alongside orca.
They're just right there!
A challenge that will push us all to our very limits. Our first morning in Spildra, and we're straight out onto the icy fjords to begin our search for the mighty orca.
It's a landscape that is really classic to this part of the world. You have deep, deep channels like these surrounded by high, towering mountains. And at this time of the year, these dark waters are alive with fish, specifically herring.
The herring have come to the fjords in their billions to spawn, creating an enormous fish feast for much of the wildlife here.
Look at all these gulls. Every single one of those gulls is a beak and a stomach that needs feeding and needs filling with fish. If you've got this many thousands, hundreds of thousands of gulls around, it means there's plenty of prey. And where there's prey, there are bound to be predators.
The fjord systems have endless channels and passages leading inland and out to the open sea. To track our moving target, we're going to need our eye in the sky.
Normally when I'm out looking for whales, what I'm looking for is the blow or the spout. It's very different with orca. With orca, the blow is much smaller, but their dorsal fin is huge, and it can be seen from a long distance away. That classic, curved, dark silhouette of a fin cutting through the surface of the water. It's one of the most exciting things to see in nature, and I've just got my fingers crossed that any second now, one's going to pop up in front of us. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Got them. Look, there they are. Ah, there's a male. That's the whole group. Can you see them, Marky? Oh my goodness, look at that. It's the tallest dorsal fin of any animal on the planet and is pretty much as tall as I am. And all of a sudden, you realise that you're looking at a truly awe-inspiring predator. This is a creature that has been known to take whales, to take great white sharks. It has no equal. And seeing it here in these waters, is both exciting and, I have to admit, ever so slightly terrifying. The thought that we could be getting in alongside them blows my mind. In a good way. Wow! Holy moly! This is absolutely staggering. They're traveling at the same pace as our boat. What a sight. Here, Mark, here, right in front of us. Whoa. Wow, our mission's off to a pretty good start.
The orca are on the move and can cover 100 miles in a day. Our hope is to predict where they're heading and be in the water waiting for them. But this is Arctic winter. The water is not much above freezing point. We're going to need a special suit.
Orca have a thick layer of fat called blubber below the surface of the skin, which insulates them. So as I haven't got blubber, I have to have a very special wetsuit. And it's very special, but getting it on is almost impossible. I kind of feel like I'm stuck in it. Oh. There we go. That's me. Ready? Oh dear. That is not a strong look.
Talking of strong looks, check out Mark, my cameraman's wetsuit.
I'm ready. Let's do this. What's so funny, Ruth?
We have Orca alongside us. So once the both of us are ready, I think we're just going to slip overboard and hope for the best.
We can see Orca at the surface. But below the waves, it's clear the pod is far bigger than we thought. Stealth and strength in numbers are part of their deadly skills. And listen to that sound.
Super fleeting, really quick. Well, that was my first glimpse of Orca underwater. Wow, they move fast. And the sound is incredible.
These squeals, clicks and whistles are a complex language used for communication, socializing and coordinating their hunting. But some sounds can also be used for navigation and for finding their prey.
Oh, it's cold. I know that's kind of an obvious thing to say when you're diving in the Arctic, but it's really cold.
This brutal cold is just one of the challenges between us and our goal. The orca's speed and maneuverability makes them tricky to track.
You can see how fast we're having to go to keep pace with them. They're rocketing along.
We drop in over and over again and eventually start to get results.
Mother and her calf, just meters in front of me. And they came up to breathe alongside me.
The bond between mothers and calves is so strong in orca, they stay with their mother's pod for life.
That was epic.
But orca aren't the only mighty mouth on the hunt for herring.
Come back! Come back!
We spot another giant cruising past.
Humpbacks! Humpbacks right alongside us.
And then one of them dives, showing off the white underside of its huge pectoral fins. The longest limb in nature. After a day like this, it's hard to believe things could get better. But this is just the beginning.
Wow. Okay, so we've seen them traveling, but really what we need to do is to get them when they are properly hunting. And that's gonna happen when even this little bit of light is gone. I'm talking going out searching in the dead of night.
Because the orca here have learned that there is an easier way to find their favourite food. And that is by following the fishing boats. Herring fishing is big business in these fjords. At night, vast shoals of herring come up from the deep and hang out closer to the surface. That's when the fishing boats drop their nets. The smart orca have learned how to use this to their advantage.
God, there are guys behind us.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We have got orca. Huge, great big male. Oh my, no way. No way, look at that. Oh, he's coming here, look. Right underneath us.
For this next stage of our mission, I'll be diving, giving me more time underwater to witness their behaviour.
So we pulled up at our fishing boat. They are at the moment pulling up the nets that are filled with herring, tons and tons of it. So what we need to do now is kit up as fast as possible and get in the water because they're not going to be here long. Whoa, this is seriously exciting.
But even though we kitted up at top speed, the fishermen have pulled in their catch and are on their way. With the feed over, the orca disappear into the shadows. It's all over in a matter of minutes. We're going to need so much to come together for this to work. The orca, the herring, sea snake, weather, the fishermen. Our mission has barely begun. It's been a big day, but nature has one more spectacle in store. The biggest light show on planet Earth. The entire Arctic night sky has been illuminated.
Wow. The best thing about being out on an Arctic night like this is the northern lights, Aurora Borealis. This incredible effect is caused by charged particles in the solar wind coming from the sun, and it creates this extraordinary glow shimmering across the entire sky. I've spent lots and lots of time in the Arctic and I've never seen it like this before. The whole sky just looks like it's on fire. It's one of the most ethereal, magical, mystical things that you'll ever see.
We go to bed dreaming of night lights, dark seas, and of course, orca. The next morning, we're up early to head out again on the fjords to find out a little bit more about the herring.
So our boat is equipped with a fancy machine called an echo sounder. This is it here. Essentially, we've got sounds going off into the water. Boom, boom, and they bounce back off anything solid that's in the water. This giant shape here is a shoal of fish. Those fish have inside them a swim bladder, which is filled with air, and that's really good at resonating the sounds of the echolocators, so they're showing up really well. And this here is about 200 meters long, so it's about 2 football fields in length, this shoal of fish. And this is the exact same way that the orca are locating them to, using sound, sending these little sounds off into the water. They bounce back off the shoals of fish and they know they're there. So if we can find them, so can the orca.
We find our first fishing boat of the day. Again, they've already pulled in their catch, but as we're in the rare daylight hours,
Tusen tack.
let's take a closer look.
So this is what it's all about, the humble herring. This fish occurs here in these fjords in their millions. They're fat and protein rich. Look, 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 look! Look at that! Whoa! And they're attracting in big mouths. You wouldn't believe that an animal of that size could be so accurate in how it comes up right alongside a boat. It's clearly really, really aware of what's around it. Look at this! Oh, unbelievable! Humpbacks are so-called baleen whales. They don't have teeth. Instead, they have whalebone, baleen, which hangs down from the upper jaw. It's kind of like a sieve, and it enables them to take enormous gulps of water and all these fish at the same time, and then crush their massive tongue against the upper jaw, squeezing out all the water, sieving out the fish. And it's about to come up again. This is going to happen again, look! There it is again! Oh, this is called gulp feeding, and to see it this close is quite a privilege. Orca, humpbacks, gulls. I think I found my favourite place on Earth.
With such a concentration of predators and prey, you can never predict what will happen. And seeing orca, whales and fishermen all targeting the same fish is a sign of the abundance here in the fjords at this time of year. But this abundance is surprisingly fragile. The fish stocks, the orca and the oceans themselves are all facing an onslaught, a challenge to their very existence.
Looking at the sheer amount of herring that's being taken here and the mouths that it's feeding, it might seem that the fish is infinite. Here in Norway, fish stocks are really well taken care of, but that's not the truth all over the world. Overfishing is a major crisis that is affecting both the fish and those that rely on them.
Some seas are being emptied of fish far too fast for them to regenerate. This leaves nothing as food for top predators like orca. But there are more direct assaults on these awesome animals.
Perhaps the most publicised threat that orca have faced in recent years is that of them being taken into captivity. When you look at a group of animals like this, you know, they are a family. Animals will stay in their mother's pod for the entirety of their lives. They nurse from their young just like we do. They breathe air just like we do. They grieve the loss of their young and of their family. It's just horrific to think about them being kept in captivity. They're much too intelligent. They require huge open spaces. An orca like this could cover 100 miles in a day, thousands of miles in a year. Keeping them in a swimming pool just isn't right.
Having orca performing cheap tricks in captivity is just plain cruel. But tourism, watching whales in the wild, can be a big part of their protection.
We are far from alone in this fjord right now. There are probably a dozen boats, as well as a bunch of paddleboarders and people who are here to snorkel alongside the whales. And this is a massive part of the solution. When whales have value, when people want to come and see them in the wild like this, then all of a sudden there is real reason to protect them.
Our mission to see orca feeding underwater remains unfinished. We scour the fjords, focusing on finding boats that have just started fishing.
Okay, we've got 3 fishing boats ahead of us and lots of gulls. And everything seems to be perfect. So we're trying to kit up as quickly as we can in the hope that we get a chance to get in the water.
Unlike the first boat we spotted today, these fishermen still have their nets out, actively fishing for herring. This could be the lucky shot we've been hoping for. With no time to lose, we get in the water.
You guys see them? Where do they go?
It looks like they're moving off. Are we too late again? And then, out of the blue, appears that familiar black and white shape. As he cruises past, I feel completely dwarfed. With a sweep of 2-meter wide tail flukes, the orca glides past. It's hard to connect this serene, tranquil sight with a predator that can overpower a seal or a whale.
Holy moly. Wow.
Finally, the nets are coming in, and we need to return to the boat.
What a sight! Ah, there is nothing that compares to seeing a big, mature male orca like that just cruise past you. That was a dazzling experience. Utterly, utterly beautiful. And now I am going to have a nice cup of hot chocolate.
What you got there?
Nothing.
Where's mine? Oh, what scenery.
It's a little cup of joy. Freezing.
Quite a nice cold, though. It's kind of like a cosy cold. Like, one that makes you know you're alive. Don't you think?
Weirdo.
Some might consider this job done, but we don't give up that easy. We have another night left, and one more chance to see orca intelligence in action. We find a fishing boat with its net out, so it's time to get ready.
This is one of those moments where you've got to be completely focused. You've got to be so concentrated on what you're about to do. You know, we're about to drop in alongside one of the world's finest predatory animals at night, alongside a boat that's pulling in its nets. There's potentially a lot of things that are dangerous about this, but if we go in calm and confident, then it should be fine.
And our timing is perfect. We'll be in the water waiting when they pull in their nets. We just have to hope the orca turn up too.
Okay, this could be it.
Ready. Ready as I've ever been.
Safety checks complete. We take a deep breath and commit to the dark and icy deep. Beneath the water, the herring net is bursting at the seams. A strange and unsettling image.
This is an absolutely dazzling sight. Millions of herring, all pressed against the net, and the shimmering scales coming off like snowflakes.
The net is so full, some of the herring are spilling out. And this is exactly what the orca are after. But there's no sign of them yet.
Oh my goodness! Look at that! Just plucking fish from the water with its lips. Surprisingly delicate for such a large animal. Oh, this is awe-inspiring.
They're using their acute eyesight to pinpoint their prey, taking fish one by one. And they're joined by giants.
Look at the size of it! Absolutely dwarfed! Oh no! There are orca and humpback everywhere! This is absolutely extraordinary!
orca's world is dominated by sound. Sounds that travel further and faster underwater.
So that sound, the clanging of the nets, is like the ringing of a dinner bell. They've learnt to associate that sound with food and to come in to feed on all of this.
This ability to adapt and learn new behaviours is why orca are one of the most successful predators on the planet.
So beautiful. I've never felt so small. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, I have no idea how many orca there are here. All feeding right in front of my eyes. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine I'd get an experience like this.
The word deadly means different things to different people. If you're thinking it's dangerous to us as human beings, well, wild animals really aren't, unless you count the mosquito. If you mean most destructive, it's us as human beings. We're the only animal that is destroying the very environment we rely on. But to me, deadly has always been about the perfect predator in their natural world. And surely the top has to be the orca. Found in every ocean around the world, able to feed on everything from the smallest fish right up to the great whales and the great white shark. In my mind, the most deadly animal on Earth is the orca.
Coordinated hunters, using intelligence to track down their prey. This underwater speed demon is definitely
Look at that.
See you next time for more Deadly 60.
Bingo.
Did you see that?
If you love to laugh, CBBC's got you covered. We've got cracking comedy,
It's crackerjack! Right in the face! Don't make me laugh.
Operation Side Splitters,
Chit-chatting, you two, and get on with the science.
flaming hot jokes,
Let's get to it. My food is kicking.
and monstrously jolly Japers.
Monster Court is now in session.
This new year, we've got it all. Streaming now on BBC iPlayer.
Good morning, what is good, everyone? I hope you're feeling fresh and ready as it's time to bring you the best that Bite Size and CBBC has to offer this morning. Look at us, it's all orange. You see the logo, you know it's time to learn. Switch that brain on, come on, get pens and pencils. We are ready for you. We're gonna bring your brain power up to level 3000 this morning, I guarantee it. Don't know what it means, but I know it sounds good, right? Of course it does. So we are kicking off with Bite Size Daily. First off, for you 5 to 7-year-olds, we'll be learning to count to 10 in French. Oui, oui, oh la la. And then, of course, 7 to 9-year-olds, and then 9 to 11. And as if that wasn't enough, we're going to bring you some great educational CBBC shows, including Celebrity Supply Teacher, Horrible Histories, Operation Ouch, and of course, Art Ninja. But back to Bite Size Daily for the 5 to 7-year-olds, you'll be counting to 10 in French. And I've got a great tip to really help you smash this lesson. So here's what you have to do. Ready? Here we go. French.